Welcome to round 13 of Suncorp Super Netball. We're here at Adelaide Entertainment Centre. It's the Adelaide Thunderbirds up against the Sunshine Coast Lightning. It is a packed house here in Adelaide to try and get their team back on the winners list after 2 losses in the past 3 rounds. And the Sunshine Coast Lightning, they are ready to do anything to spoil all the fun. I'm Bianca Chatfield, and joining me in commentary today, Madison Brown and Emily Beaton. Maddie, it's so exciting because the packed house, you can really feel the atmosphere building here.
Oh, you can. And the last time, there was a final, obviously, here in Adelaide, was obviously in 2013 when they had, obviously, the premiership. But you look at the ladder there and you see Thunderbirds sitting in second. A win today puts them in the hot seat, not only to obviously host the major final, but that second chance and just that confidence they probably need in front of a packed house, knowing that they can have and do have the team to maybe go all the way this year. And
the next 2 rounds are really going to determine what happens next. Anything can happen in that top 4, even though we know the finalists are all set. The teams know they'll take on the finals. They just don't know in what position. As we see the Sunshine Coast Lightning called out onto court, their Woolworths team cards. Starting as you thought, Maddie?
Well, obviously, Ash Irvin in there, goalkeeper again, but Ava Black getting a start at wing defence, which pushes Mahalia Cassidy to centre. I love that kind of shift. I think, obviously, having Sherry and Wood and Conan in that attack end, they know each other so well. On the flip side, they're coming up against a really strong, consistent in, obviously, starting 7 for the Thunderbirds, but Sterling, Garrett, Wilson, they're going to have to set the pressure early. So I want to see them in the first 5 minutes really set the tone. And that lady on screen, Tipper Dwan, she's going to have a big one today with Cardwell as well.
And you saw their captain, Hannah Petty, starting off on the bench, but the rotations, as Emily Beaton spoke about pre-game, the rotation's so important for the Thunderbirds, and now they have a fully fit 10 players to choose from. And Cassidy is getting ready to get this game started. We're away with the Sunshine Coast Lightning in attack.
Contact clause, centre!
Wood, quick one to Sherian.
Advantage offside, centre!
Up and over the top.
A miss there by Conan. And a great attacking rebound or defensive rebound there by Sterling.
Confusion on the face of Tipper Dwan as she sends the ball back to her defence end. Through Garrett. It's a second chance and it goes straight over the top and over the third. You almost can feel the nervous energy out there.
You can, and sometimes, as I said, it's about that first 5 minutes, setting the tone, setting your intent, bringing that physical presence in defence, and maybe working a little more control and composure in attack. So a little bit flying some balls over there for the Thunderbirds early.
Advantage obstruction, go defence!
Wood. It's a stepping call against the goal attack for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. A few early mistakes from both teams.
This is an area for the Thunderbirds last week that they struggled. They were only sitting at 55% conversion off the game ball. They were still getting enough, but just not being able to transition it down to a score.
Williams from the top. Cardwell using the baseline to her advantage. Hands in the air. She's a player that really loves to get the crowd behind her.
And why not use it to your advantage? There's 9,300 people in the venue today, all supporting Pink. Utilise that to your strength.
Wilson has a look, recovers. Sherian. Black backing up on the transverse line.
Possession, centre, outside.
Keep an eye on that matchup. We said all of the internationals, especially in that circle right now on your screens. Sterling and Conan, Wood and Garrett. Although 3 of them could be in the lineup for the Diamonds.
It's that quick goaler-to-goaler pass. I think that the Lightning can exploit the Thunderbirds on today. So eyes need to be up there from Garrett and Sterling to maybe get a few little tips.
Wood out for the centre pass, but gives it straight to Wilson. Went over the sideline and through Sherian, the Lightning trying to score their second for the game. Has taken a little while, hasn't it?
Second miss under the post. Exactly the same position there for Conan. Just see Latanya Wilson in the Harvey Norman replay get a little tip, but unfortunately out of court. Not to her advantage. She was another player quiet last week. I thought the Magpies and Brown definitely exploited, obviously keeping her out of the play.
Porges finds circle edge. And in return, finds Cardwell.
That's better patience by the Thunderbirds. Work at the circle edge, get that efficient pass off to the goalers.
Scores are even. We've played just under 4 minutes in the first. Sherian balks one way, drops it to Wood. Sunshine Coast Lightning really trying to use their speed to their advantage. A steady one and a first one for Steph Wood. Garrett with her first centre pass receive. She was in all the action last week. 14 centre pass receives, which is a game high for her. Let's go across to Mbeaton.
I've just been watching really closely Taylor Williams against Mahalia Cassidy. Physically, they match up really well. Cassidy is such a strong presence in there, and she is dictating where Taylor Williams is going. She's not able to get that flow at the moment, and she's hit the deck a couple of times, so that's one to absolutely keep an eye on.
And it seems like both teams are really struggling to find that flow you spoke about.
Yeah, no one's breaking through at the moment. The defenders are really on top of their opponents at the moment, and the attackers are fighting themselves out of position.
That's where I think in attack you need to work some different lines. You don't have to be in a running race all the time. Maybe start on the body, work a different angle, go backwards to go forwards, and even just working your little combinations. The wing attack and goal attack, maybe screening for each other, especially just to get that body presence off.
Cardwell from the exact same position. She got her last shot. Takes her out. 3 goals so far. Sorry, 4 goals so far for Eleanor Cardwell, shooting at 100%.
You can see the circle for the Lightning so open, both shooters out, both defenders out. So it's that speed of the ball, but also the speed of that drive back to the post. To see on that Harvey Norman, great take there by Conan under pressure.
Porges, quick to Dwan. Dwan tries to get it over the top. You can see how much Ash Urban, 192 centimetres, her presence over the shot is very intimidating.
It's that element, I think, from a feeder in respecting the height and respecting the arm's length and elevation of a defender, but then also taking that strength away from them. And once you've taken a strength away from an opponent, seeing what else they've got up there in their toolkit to try and get on top of their opponent.
Wood. Quick one to Conan. From the other side of the post this time, and Conan makes it count. Wilson goes long, finds Cardwell. The crowd love the connection.
That mismatch. Yeah, look at that mismatch in the circle. And a miss there by Dwan.
And the Lightning, look at the Harvey Norman replay here. Irvin, a huge amount of work she's doing off the ball to confuse the space. Sherian to Wood. 1-2, and Wood finds herself in shooting position.
Medium to longer range shot there for Steph Wood. Interesting to see whether they'll fire early, as we've spoken about in the pre-show, on that super shot, or whether they'll leave it towards later in the game.
Interesting, the first quarter has been a real struggle for the Adelaide Thunderbirds this season. They come good after that, but they've only won 4 first quarters this year. There's Coach Belinda Reynolds from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Cassidy. Again, a real confusion from the Adelaide Thunderbirds defenders. The Lightning extend their lead by 3.
Setting up that wall, the Lightning on the centre pass. Pretorius out of play. Can the Thunderbirds exploit this now? Make it count. Yeah, that's a good little 1-2. Last time, Porges was obviously playing in round 3 against the Lightning. She had 30 goal assists, so that that amount of ball in hand as we see the live ladder there, Thunderbirds looking good. Lightning, they spoke about, not in finals contention, but we want that 5th spot. That is absolutely ours. So both fighting for a higher position on the ladder today.
And we'll keep an eye on that live ladder as we see what the result and the scoreline continues to do to those positions in the top 4. From the top, Wood, straight, very confident, puts it straight up in the air, and it is our first HCF tactical timeout. Steph Wood was very quick to call that once she took the shot. The Sunshine Coast Lightning are taking this opportunity perhaps to discuss where they're at, looking forward into that Power 5 with 6 minutes 40. Let's take a listen in to Coach Reynolds.
So, like, let that land and come back together. And that jump on the shot is working really well. Yeah. So get intent on that
The
shot.
side the way was driving in and then we set it up from there.
Right. So on first base defence, so Ava, KP and Halsey. So they're getting drawn quite wide on it. It's good to stay on it, but then they're going central at the last minute. So just stay middle or drop middle. Yeah, I reckon stay middle, but still work and hold it. So we kind of want them to go wide.
Yeah, remember we want to cover middle. If we need to give up something, we give them wide.
Okay, and those wide, your intent to cover second phase really strong. So keep it off second phase, and keep getting ball side on the circle to like give these guys a chance. Really good job on the chip. Let's go. Really good job on giving the crappy ball to get that ball speed. Take your drives on because the umpires will call those contacts. Guys, very, very important that we focus here and chip in. Work rate really high. Yeah, good job. Well done. Go. Lighting on 2. 1, 2. Lighting. Here we go.
Well, there you have it, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Belinda Reynolds, you don't often hear that. We're happy with that little ball, that crappy little ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at our Nissan net points match leaders. Cassidy leading the way. Let's get across to M. Beaton. What were you hearing in the Thunderbirds?
Yeah, I was listening in, and Coach Tanya Oates is really happy with Elle Cardwell coming out of the circle and helping out her teammates. She also asked for Cardwell and Dwan to have a look at the shooter-to-shooter connection to see if they can thread some balls through that way.
Williams threads it straight to Dwan. Her second. 2 goals the difference. Still a minute 14 until we hit the Power 5. I wonder how much, Maddie, the tactics will change.
Well, you're just even seeing a different defensive structure down each end. The Thunderbirds really 1-on-1 and then sometimes shifting into a box, but pretty much tight on their own opponent, trying to nullify them first. Down the other end, we see more of a split circle from the Lightning. So just interesting to see how those tactics go and whether they'll change, obviously, when the 2-point comes into play.
Last time these two teams met was in round 3 at the home of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. And can you believe it? It was a 24-goal win to the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Cardwell. She has her radar on early. 100% shooting from Eleanor Cardwell. 2 goals the difference. Cassidy has to go back.
Huge hands over there by every single Thunderbird. The second Lightning player gets the ball, hands high, trying to avoid that high release over.
And mismatch or miscommunication between the Diamond shooters.
This is a crucial moment for the Thunderbirds. They need to capitalise on this one. Try and draw it back.
Keep an eye on the scoreboard right now. 2 goals the difference. As the Thunderbirds cough up an opportunity. Pretorius across to Black.
Great open up of the other side of the court.
Wood swoops around to get front position. She finds herself ready for the first Suncorp super shot of the game. Can't sink it in the Thunderbirds. What can they do?
They've got to work it short and sharp, have multiple options coming forward and close rather than always looking for that long option. Sometimes just give the easy option, keep that ball speed moving, trying to keep it out of the air because I think that's where they're getting in trouble in transition.
And what are you noticing about Steph Wood?
Yeah, I'm watching her here. She is sucking in the big ones. She has been doing so much work out the front for the Lightning, and I'm concerned about what that's going to mean for her super shot. Trying to shoot them under fatigue has got to be tough.
We'll keep an eye on Steph Wood. 1 goal the difference as Taylor Williams steps in for the centre pass.
Centre contact in the middle.
100% shooting from Eleanor Cardwell.
Centre back.
Horges to Williams. From the pocket, straight to Cardwell, holding beautiful positioning right in front of the post.
Thunderbirds definitely not afraid to lift that high ball in on a hold down the other end. Lightning second guessing, I think, because Sterling's there with those long arms.
2 very different goalkeepers, even though the height is very similar. Wood from the base connects with Conan for a quick one under the post. Horges tippy-toes that transverse line to take the centre pass. She's now back in control. And Cardwell with her first miss. The Lightning out by 1.
Goal attack, contact.
Carla Pretorius happy to play on quickly. Let's get it down.
The experience of Carla Pretorius out on court right now is really putting the pressure on the Thunderbirds in attack. And down the other end, what can the experience of Wood do in the Power 5? This is just for 1.
Just getting that range back.
Lightning out by 2. Wood straight up the middle to Conan, but Shamira Sterling, she's the deflection queen.
It's just maybe a little bit too early, as we see on that Harvey Norman replay. Just a little hand with the angle on the pass, but also maybe come forward, drop back. Knowing when to keep driving on in that contest, but knowing when to peel off and provide a different option.
Dwan up to Cardwell. That's a huge high ball. Almost too high. It took so long to get down. Big smiles on the faces of Eleanor Cardwell. There's a Harvey Norman replay. Oh, it was so high, but Pretorius, they were both landing.
In football terms, that was a hand on the back and no side on the ball.
Conan for 1. And takes the Lightning out by 1 on the scoreboard. Just under a minute to play in the first. Another ball back to the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Can they make it count? Cassidy.
Quick little passes is that ball speed from the Lightning. As I said, just keeping it moving at all costs. You don't have to move, you don't have to be in a running race. Just keep the ball and that speed on it.
Sherian back to Pretorius. Back to Cassidy. There's long passes. And again, Shamira Sterling interrupts the momentum. Wood to Sherian. 15 seconds. Conan steadies and sends the Lightning out to 2. It's their centre pass. They've got 6 seconds on the clock. Can they score? Wood steps in, up and over. It's a 2-on-1. Cara Conan. What brilliant play from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They are out by 3 after the first quarter, beating the home team. The round 13 matches continue tomorrow, and the first one up, it's the West Coast Fever up against the Giants. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This game, of course, live and exclusive right here on Fox Netball.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, where there is a huge 9,000 strong sellout crowd. It's quarter time, brought to you by Origin. I've just been listening in to the Adelaide Thunderbirds huddle where Coach Tanya Oates went straight to her defensive players and spoke to them about attack and asking them to come forward to the ball so they can start connecting with their attacking players. Mads, what have you been hearing in the Lightning huddle?
Well, that's a great insight in there, down on the sideline. But the Lightning, Coach Reynolds was super impressed with their start. She said great work rate, great intent. She loves that little chip ball that we mentioned, that ball speed, keep it going. In attack, she also asked Conan to maybe exit out of the circle, try and draw Sterling out, leave that baseline open for Wood. She even said, let's stay disciplined, it's 0-0 again, and keep working tirelessly in defence. So super impressed there was Belinda Reynolds at her Lightning team.
Well, there we have it, both teams ready to go for the second quarter. The Thunderbirds through Taylor Williams get us underway. Dwan to Horges. Urban goes looking. Allows Dwan the space to swoop through. Sherian. Conan, she's out of the circle as requested. Cassidy. What a huge performance it was from Mahalia Cassidy against the Magpies last week. 112.5 Nissan net points, the highest for her, as Latanya Wilson adds to her Nissan net points tally. Look at the Harvey Norman replay here. She always times it perfectly, using that arm, the outside arm, as all of our junior coaches tell us.
It really is that kind of balance and that margin for error, knowing how far off you can sit before you can attack. And maybe have a crack at that ball, and also being disciplined around that body. That's a hard thing to do on the top edge of the circle.
And the Jamaicans, don't they have the athleticism and speed to really do anything in defence? They're amazing to watch. One goal the difference. Williams, quick to Dwan. And you're really seeing the speed of Tipper Dwan come into the game.
And just obviously, even Cardwell sitting back and drawing that two defenders to try and allow her that space to really get close to the post and hit that efficient shot.
91% and 83% shooting for the Thunderbirds attackers. As Wood looks like she just copped, I don't know if it was a ponytail in the face that she had to.
It was a plait, it was a flying plait.
That always happens.
A little dish off, that goaler to goaler.
This Harvey Norman replay.
Oh, it was a hand.
It was a hand.
We'll give you that, Steph Wood.
Compliments of Matilda Garrett. And speaking of Garrett, she repositions next to Ava Black. There's something about that second quarter where the Thunderbirds really step up. We've seen it time and time again. The second quarter is, for some reason, one of their favourites. Wood. Drew Cassidy over to Black. Let's go across to M.
One thing I'm loving is, I spoke about Taylor Williams earlier, but I'm so impressed with her feeding ability tonight. She is spotting the gaps and connecting with her goalers beautifully. Her vision is impeccable, and the touch on her pass has just been perfect.
I think that's a really good point by Em. Obviously, the Thunderbirds hitting that feed. Great shot by Steph Wood there. But in Lightning, I'd love to see them use some balks. We're seeing the Thunderbirds get those little hands in, create that space between the defender and the attacker, use the ball to just fake it one way and then dish down the other side.
We know the Thunderbirds do often make that change between Williams and Petty. Does the scoreline stop the change or encourage the change?
Well, you can see Petty sitting there over on the bar, but she looks pretty happy. And I think because they started a little bit slow, as you see the Nissan net points here, only one Thunderbird in the mix. The rest is dominated there by the Lightning. And Cassidy, as Em mentioned, obviously playing really well there against Williams up the top. But I think you'd stay there. They look settled, the Thunderbirds, and only when you really need that next impact to maybe take it up to another gear or find a little bit more, that's when you'd inject Petty into the game.
Wood. Not comfortable, so she turns around, but that was great positioning from Taylor Williams. Cassidy second chance through Conan.
Obstruction keeper.
And the Lightning back out by one. Look at the Harvey Norman replay here. Just rolled over her back, but a bit of jostling for position. Porges to Dwan. Looks up, goes back. Williams from the pocket. Precision passing from Taylor Williams. Cardwell can't finish it off.
There must be something on that side of the post because both goal shooters have missed real easy ones under the post right there.
Might have to get out and measure it.
Oh, flyaway ball from Sherian. But it tipped Sterling, so they get another chance on the baseline.
And you see Cara Conan coming out of the circle. Shamira Sterling following her. And gets a contact call from the attempt from behind.
If you're going to lift it up there, it actually needs to go more of an arc on that feed. It needs to lift up and then drop in front of Conan. It's too far elevated above her head, which is where Sterling is so good.
Hold time. Centre, return the ball. You're delaying.
It's a delaying warning from the umpire, encouraging both teams to get the ball back into play as quickly as possible. Wood. Conan with the rebound.
So strong in the air, Conan.
That's certainly one part of her game that is improved out of sight over the last 2 seasons. Wilson, short one to Williams. Again, another short one. They're taking their time, looking for the best option, the Thunderbirds.
They've reduced their percentage on this game, but oh, it's Cardwell hits the deck. Not impressed. Give it a wipe down. See.
Look at that Harvey Norman replay.
Pass goes, yeah, a little bit of a nudge there.
And when we talk about internationals, the South African Carla Pretorius and Eleanor Cardwell from England. Both players I'm sure we will see go head-to-head at the World Cup coming up later this year. Dwan brings the Thunderbirds back to within 2.
Got a blood rule here.
Ash Irvin off the court. Katie Ann Dehaney steps on at goalkeeper.
And a change of ball.
The umpires are happy, everyone's sorted. Pretorius to Sherian, Conan. She's out, opening up the circle for Steph Wood, who sits right in the back space behind Matilda Garrett.
That's better movement, I think, by the Lightning. They kept it low, not in the air, but they moved it from side to side. They used some angles, different passes.
78% shooting for Steph Wood, 88 for Cara Conan. Porges. A roll off from Dwan. Back to front position. Just making sure she got her balance. Steps across. There's the South Australian Premier, Peter Malinauskas, who is here with his family, enjoying the game. Let's get across to M.
Another matchup I've been looking at is Georgie Horges against Ava Black. I think they're having a fantastic tussle out there, and Ava Black is doing a great job. But this quarter, Georgie Horges is stepping it up with the give and goes. If you watch her closely, she's getting every second pass and setting up the play in the Thunderbirds attack line. It's pretty impressive.
Well, you can hear the Adelaide Thunderbirds crowd. They just got very loud, and it's because their captain, Hannah Petty, has entered the game at centre. We'll watch that combination closely, especially with Georgie Horges. Cardwell steadies herself. They can't rebound it, so an opportunity for the Lightning. 3 goals the difference.
It feels like one team gets that momentum backing them, and then they just make some silly errors. It's a missed shot or a or a throwaway pass. And these are probably the clutch moments that Thunderbirds really need to own today to know that when they get to finals and against some of those other top teams, that they can put that volume on, they can score under pressure, they can score in the moments that count, and sometimes even put the opposition away.
The body-on-body contest between Garrett and Wood. No one is giving an inch. Penalties, Thunderbirds 25. And it is a HCF tactical timeout. This time it has been called by the Adelaide Thunderbirds. They're 5 goals down in front of their home crowd here in Adelaide. The Sunshine Coast Lightning will be very happy with what they're putting out there on court. Let's take a listen in to the Thunderbirds. We're shutting down the middle of the court. As you can see also, coming up after this game, next week, the Thunderbirds have the New South Wales Swifts. What a big game that will be. Let's go across to Em, what we're hearing in the Lightning huddle.
Yeah, Coach Reynolds went straight over to Ava Black and asked her to jump the line at the centre pass, and then she wants to push Georgie Horges up high because she's having such an impact. Those also spoke about the super shot time. They're up and they can just tick that scoreboard over. So asking the players just to play their normal game.
On the flip side, you see a lot of changes there for the Thunderbirds in their defence end, but still not willing to go for that long-range shot. We saw Carwell even go to the post during that break. Obviously not happy with their flow or a shooting technique. The Thunderbirds get one back.
Macy Nankiville moved to wing defence, onto wing defence. Latanya Wilson into the circle as Dwan steps forward. This is how it's done, she says. The Lightning leading by 4. The umpires want the ball back in the centre quickly. Wood flies down the court. The Thunderbirds interrupting the flow of the Lightning.
As Em said, they don't want to take that 2-point shot, just keep the scoreboard pressure ticking over for the Lightning.
Petty, back to Wilson. Cross to Dwan. Lightning putting on the pressure.
Tipper Dwan only had 6 super shots for the entire season. She's not their go-to girl in this time, so interesting to see that they haven't put Lucy Austin on, maybe to try and bring back that deficit on the scoreboard a bit.
But we also know Eleanor Cardwell, 41 super shots this season. She can shoot them. She will shoot them if they need her to, as will Steph Wood. Conan adds one more to the Lightning tally. Horges under pressure. Petty finds Cardwell. That's a better play from the Thunderbirds. We spoke about it earlier, that post in that
I think I'm going to have to go check the floorboards. I'm not too sure what's happening there. I don't know whether they're sinking into quicksand or something. Side of the post is not happening for the goal shooters.
Cardwell wants to dish it off, but she's got it back. That's a much better shot from Eleanor Cardwell. There's 4 goals in it as the Lightning put too much on it for their wing attack.
Thunderbirds haven't been nailing the transition. Now is the time. Once again, this is a critical moment in the game. If you want to head into finals knowing you've got this confidence, now is the time to do these things and build that belief that when you need to count, you can actually do it.
Dwan for 2. Over the hands of Pretorius. Cross the circle to Horges. And Pretorius, she wanted that one. She tried in every way to get it. 4 goals difference, just under 3 minutes in the second. Wood to Conan. And the Lightning extend it out to 5. Look at the Harvey Norman replay here. Pretorius is just harassing Cardwell any way she can. Obstruction call against Black. Across to Petty, the Thunderbirds go. Dwan for 2. Over the hands of Dehaney. Kept alive by Eleanor Cardwell. And Dwan for 2. Can't make it. Pretorius with the rebound. Petty with the intercept.
She read it, she saw it, she went. She said, let's go a 1 here. Let's work it. You see, she saw it. Up she goes. Harvey Norman replay.
Brilliant timing from the captain of the Thunderbirds. You can see the desperation on her face to make sure this one counts. Petty, easy one to Cardwell. And this time, a safe shot. 4 goals between these two sides. The away team leading the way.
Conan out of the circle, drawing Sterling with her and getting that penalty.
The movement of the Lightning attackers really is making the Thunderbirds think differently.
Do they go for a 2-point shot here?
Wood wants it back, wants her space, just hovering in the white arc. The penalties, the Thunderbirds 29 to the Lightning 21. Things are evening out a little bit more in this second quarter. 5 goals between these two sides. Petty to Dwan. It's a contact call against Katie Ann Dehaney. She'll step aside as Cardwell steps in. Under a minute to play in the first half here at Adelaide Entertainment Centre. 4 goals the difference.
Really good patience by the Lightning, working it to that top of the circle, and just a little goal-to-goal passes, working it nice and close to the post.
Conan takes it out to 5. 30 seconds. Horges struggling with options.
Now's the time for Thunderbirds to have a crack at the 2-point shot. You do not want to having to go into that second half. That's when you might have to pull some out.
Horges, cross court. Finds Petty to Dwan.
The crowd begs her to shoot it.
And the Lightning, they've got control. What an incredible performance from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They've won the first quarter. They've now won the second quarter. The Thunderbirds only able to put 12 goals on the scoreboard each quarter.
We know how good they are defensively in holding their opponents to a low score, but this is where I think they need to obviously shoot a little bit more volume to be in the mix.
Let's get across to Beaton.
I'm with Hannah Petty. Han, slow start from your team. What's been missing in the first half?
I think we've just got to let the ball go. We're doing all the right things. It's now just letting it go, playing our game, having some confidence and some fun. Let's get this crowd up and about.
And you personally, you're bringing the energy. You've had some huge plays returning from injury. How good is it to be back on court?
Oh, it just feels bloody nice to be out there. I love these girls. I don't want to miss a second anymore. So they're doing the hard work. Now we just got to reward it.
And lastly, what do you think Tanya's message is going to be to you girls at halftime?
I think it's literally going to go back to basics. Let the ball go. It does our work for us. Let's just have some fun.
Good luck for the second half.
Thanks, Em.
A very relaxed Hannah Petty. You love to see it. The Sunshine Coast Lightning, though, they are leading by 5. We have our halftime show coming up with our very special guest, former Thunderbirds and Australian Diamonds captain Natalie Von Berto will be here to talk all things Thunderbirds and the World Cup with us. Stay with us.
What a magnificent final it's been.
Just so hard fought from each team. Everything out on the court.
Erin Bell to be the hero, to win a premiership for her state, living out a childhood dream, and there it is. It's lucky number 13 for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. A dominant season comes to a remarkable end. ANZ champions for 2013. What a moment that was in 2013. You two former Thunderbirds, both enjoying that moment. Natalie Von Berto, the former captain of the Thunderbirds and the Australian Diamonds, joining us. Nat, we really did want to celebrate what that was for you guys, what it meant, because that was the last time the Thunderbirds made the finals. Can you believe it was that long ago?
Well, 10 years ago, we actually had a function before the evening tonight, and we were like reminiscing that there's been a 10-year drought between finals experiences. So I just think, I can't believe it's that long ago, but for now, like, you come here tonight and the vibe is great, and netball in this town is really going well because of how well these Thunderbirds are doing.
And Nat, did you get the feeling walking in today? Did it take you back to that game? I know I certainly felt it. Were you the same?
I certainly felt it, and when I was walking up into the stands, and it was definitely a lot higher up than when I used to play on the court side. But walking in, we saw all the past players. Our CEO of the time, Ben Scales, is up in the crowd, and I remember this footage from that game where he stands up when we've won the game and claps really, really loudly. And as I walked in, it had that same vibe of him standing up, really celebrating this Thunderbirds team.
Well, when we talk about this Thunderbirds team, we've spoken about it all game. This game's super important. We know that at the moment they're sitting second on the ladder. To be able to get that major semi-final here, to be able to host it, they have to finish on top. How important is it to have that really strong momentum going into finals?
Oh, look, I think I've been watching really closely, and probably the form of the Thunderbirds hasn't been its best, but they still have managed to win some tight games, which is critical to a team that can win in the finals. So tonight, it's a critical game. Having the home crowd behind you, I think, this is one that we must win if we're going to, really build into that finals.
And Nat, you've worked closely with the team in previous seasons in a well-being role, so you know the players really well. What have you noticed the difference being this year?
Oh, look, I think Eleanor Cardwell's probably bring a lot to this team. Tracy Neville on the sideline, I just love watching her standing up there barking orders at the team. I just feel like there is a happy vibe that is in this group, and, I definitely have the belief, and I think they have the belief as well.
Well, you two were both mid-quarters, centre, wing attack, both dominating in that middle. What do you make of the mid-court here, and what do you think they need to do to try and support, I guess, their attack end as well?
Yeah, look, even looking tonight, I think probably our transition play hasn't been as good as what it could be. It's lovely to have the injection of Hannah Petty back. She's obviously had so many injuries this season, so hopefully with a run into finals with her fit and ready to go will be critical to that team.
Yeah, and obviously Hannah is the captain, and you've been the captain of our team for so long. How hard do you think it would be from her leading from the sidelines, both with injury and starting on the bench?
Yeah, that would be really tricky because you'd want to have an impact, but the benefit it has given this team this season is that other people have had to step up, and you've seen that in the huddles or out on court. And I think if Hannah is fit and then can come into this team, fully fit for the finals experience, then what better way to go in with all starting 7 players having to pick up that load throughout this season.
And just to recap, the Sunshine Coast Lightning are winning at the moment by 5 goals, and it is going to be a big second half for the Thunderbirds to try and get the win. one thing I want to show you, Nat, we celebrate the premierships with the Thunderbirds. What about the gold medals with the World Cup? Look at this, in 2011, what an incredible moment it was for you. You won in 2007, you won in 2011. How special?
It is really special to watch that moment again, and particularly because I did throw a ball away that almost lost it for the team. So that celebration for me was even extra special because I did think I'd lost the game for the whole of Australia. But World Cups are, you know, are something so magnificent to be a part of and so special.
Well, we know the team gets named this week. Here is the squad. What names do you think have to be in that side?
Well, obviously I pick out Liz Watson. She is, you know, she is the centre and the real, oh, not the centre, but, you know, the centre of that team. And I think she's a really critical person in that lineup. But also Courtney Bruce, I think she brings a lot. Sarah Clow, you know, we've had, you know, there's quite a solid, steady lineup, I think, for the Diamonds. And, you know, to be honest, I don't know that there'll be all that many changes, but, you know, I think that Diamonds, that Sisters in Arms is something that will hold true for this Diamonds teams as well.
And tell me what it would be like. So these players are going to find out this week that they will be World Cup players. What does it feel like when you're named in that team?
Oh, it's a pretty amazing experience to be named in any Australian team, and let alone in a World Cup year. So, you know, that would be definitely in the back of their minds. You know, these games that they're playing this weekend, does it add extra nerves into the games that are being played across the weekend? Probably.
You always know the selectors are watching,
They're
don't
watching
you?
every single game that you play. So, you know, this week it'll be really interesting to see those players that can stand up despite having that background pressure, I guess, in their minds.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Nat. We really appreciate it. Go and enjoy the second half with all of your old teammates. And the girls have certainly brought their best to the court tonight. Woolworths met with our SSN court stars off the court to find out how well they know their fruit and veg. Take a look at how they got on and be sure to get involved.
Welcome to the Woolies Pick Fresh Play Fresh game. A sandwich cut into quarters would be a good snack to eat between breaks on a netball competition day. Hey, a lot of green apples and you're on! Carrots, sweet potatoes and oranges are high in what vitamin that keeps your eyesight healthy for passing and shooting?
Was it vitamin A?
Vitamin A! Yeah. Vitamin A! Test your knowledge on the Woolworths Pick Fresh Play Fresh Hub for your chance to win great prizes.
Welcome back to Fox Netball. We're here at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre for this round 13 clash between the Adelaide Thunderbirds and the Sunshine Coast Lightning. As you can see on your screens, the Lightning are leading by 5. It's been all the Lightning really, not by a huge amount, but they have been fairly dominant in this first half. I'm joined by Maddie Brown in commentary. And also, we're fortunate enough to be able to cross over to the Adelaide Thunderbirds coach, Tanya Obbs. Tanya, thank you for joining us again. What have you made of the first half?
Not too sure. We've been pretty clinical with the ball. We haven't necessarily been able to finish off what we would have liked. And we've just been a bit patchy in defence. So, a bit of a mixed bag.
So what was your messaging at halftime? What are the basics that you want to see them nail in this third quarter?
Yeah, look, I think there's some stuff that we can probably do a little bit better in the defence end. And, you know, I think in attack we just need to make sure that we put the ball through the ring.
You're getting some argy-bargy from your coaches there. You're okay in the middle of it?
I'm not sure. I'll put my hard hat on.
And obviously going into this game, you know how important it is to be in front of a crowd like this. Being in this pressure situation, how good is it for your team to be exposed to this heading into finals?
I think this is great. I think it's a great opportunity for us to play in front of a big crowd and really give our supporters something to cheer about.
Thank you so much for joining us, Tanya. We'll let you get back to enjoying this second half and all the action from your team out on court. As we get back to the action on the court, Conan back out to Sherian. And Wood settles as Wilson jumps at the shot, but Steph Wood didn't skip a beat. Nankiville remains in wing defence for the Thunderbirds.
Thought they might have gone back to their starting lineup and gone, you know what, the first half is done. It wasn't our best. We obviously had some, as Tanya Obbs said, some missing elements of our game, but let's just get back to what we know. So it'd be interesting to see how long she stays out there in that combination.
As we saw early in the first half, Eleanor Cardwell getting her team up and about. Let's enjoy the crowd. You get the feeling they really want to be enjoying and embracing the crowd because they're going to get louder if the Thunderbirds can get closer to the Lightning.
And I think with the Thunderbirds, Hannah Petty even spoke about it at halftime. You know, you got to get back to that element of fun and enjoying it. That's exactly why you play. So have the smile on your face, get up and about because it generates and ripples really good energy throughout the whole team.
Wood steps across, protects her space. That's her 11th for the game. Porges to Dwan. The Lightning shutting down the drives from the Thunderbirds, and Irvin gets into the right position to reward her team. Ash Irvin, hasn't she been a great pickup for the Sunshine Coast Lightning? We look at this Harvey Norman replay.
Falling out of court, Hannah Petty, but just not enough on that feed to try and keep it in. You're right, B, she has been a really good pickup. She's a Queenslander. They're breeding some of their own, even Ava Black out there as well. It's good to see them using some of their youth amongst that experience. Obviously, attack end we see on action down here with Sherry and Wood and Conan. You've got to be able to obviously have those wins in the season. You might not be playing finals, but you've got to have wins within the team to know that, okay, this is our structure, this is who we want to pick going forward. I didn't actually get to go check it at halftime, but I think something has to happen on that side of the court. What is it? Chewing on your boot. I don't know.
Maybe we need to get our sideline reporter, Ed Beaton, to go and check out the floorboards.
So we'll...
And Wood straight over the top, but the Lightning are lucky to keep possession. 6 goals in it, as Petty is doing everything she can to try and steal the possession away from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Wood.
Nails a long-range shot. I wouldn't be surprised in this third quarter if we see the Lightning maybe have an attack on that scoreboard.
Harvey Norman replay of Petty. Let's get across to M.
The Lightning shooters are looking so good. The Thunderbird defence cannot find an answer for them at the moment, with Wood connecting with Conan and Conan doing her little dodges on the baseline. B, I'm really interested to know, you as a defender, how would you be stopping them?
Yeah, I think they're really smart, the Lightning attackers, because one will take one away, the other one will then use all the space. I think what you've got to do, you've got to be a solid one-on-one, look after your own players, shut them down before you look at anything else. And I really think Sterling needs to start blocking that baseline and keeping Conan to one side of the court and not letting her open up onto the other side.
Push him out, keep him out. Step up into that space, take it away from them so they haven't got that room to be creative in.
The Lightning have certainly done their homework. Can you believe it? They are out by 7. Pretorius. So far on 35 Nissan net points, 2 rebounds, 2 intercepts.
It makes you wonder that if the Lightning cannot get up today, what type of mental pressure are Thunderbirds putting them under going? We've lost to 2 bottom teams below us. How do we go into finals with confidence that we can actually win this?
We did think, didn't we, these, especially last few rounds, there were going to be a bit of a shake-up, especially with teams like the Lightning, Giants, Magpies and Fibers, all really causing upsets, and still 2 rounds to go.
It's where it would be interesting if positions were still up for grabs.
Yes.
These losses would be felt a lot deeper, I think.
So a win tonight for the Thunderbirds will take them to the top. Remember, that minor premiership is up for grabs, so is hosting rights for that major semi-final and the double chance. Even though we know the grand final will be at John Cain Arena in Melbourne on July 8th, you've got to get there, and you want to make it the easiest way to get there.
You want to have the crowd behind you. Oh, great tip there. Dwan comes up with it. Got to make this count.
Petty back to Nankiville. Dwan just drifts out of the circle. And an easy one over the top from Horges to Cardwell. Look at this Harvey Norman replay here.
It was the tip by Cardwell. It was really good hands over pressure. Dwan coming through with the intercept.
Sherian just gets the ball rolling quickly.
Lightning have been really good at that chip away pass. We've heard them speak about it in their huddles. Just keep that ball moving, keep it short, keep it sharp.
When you say chip away pass, are you meaning the little lateral ones that then help open up something else?
Well, just even there we saw with the Lightning, Kona comes out and it's like that basic drill that you do and it's just like train tracks, isn't it? You just keep running. You see Cassidy, Kona comes out, and she gives a little quick, easy one into the guts of a short Kona, work top of the circle.
Look at that, all just on display as you're discussing it.
Perfect. Thank you, Lightning. I appreciate you.
Lightning out by 6. Just over 7.5 minutes in the third. The Thunderbirds down by 1 in this quarter. Porges gets it back to Cardwell. She splits, she gets closer.
We heard Ann Beaton say Horges is coming into the play. This is exactly where she needs to come. She's the only Thunderbird. Horges obviously in the Nissan net point. Leaders there, Cassidy and Sherry in the mid-court. Once again, Emily Beaton, she mentioned it. She thought that's where the Lightning could exploit the Thunderbirds, and they're definitely doing that.
McCarley at Cassidy dominated Nissan net points last week, continuing to dominate this week. Conan. It's her 23rd goal so far this game. Porges. Cardwell just floating out of the circle, trying to find an entry point. You get the feeling that she's running Irvin around, try and get her out of the circle.
Haven't seen Lucy Austin yet. She is a 2-point. Oh, Irvin gets the ball. Just not right on that feed. They're not being able to connect the centre court and goal as consistently as they would like.
Conan allowed free entry in, and Wilson, she had one eye on her the whole time.
It's telegraphed there by Sharon. She knew the second it left her hand, she was like, oh, can I get that back?
Let's get across to Em. What are you noticing about Tipper Dwan?
Yeah, just the past few plays that have been turnovers for the Thunderbirds have been at the hands of Tipper Dwan. They need more from her at the moment. I think Carla Pretorius is having a stellar game on her. She's really taken her out of the game. And then when she's got the ball in hand, she's got that pressure on her. So would love to see either Tipper Dwan stepping up or perhaps they need a change in that goal circle.
Pretorius, she sure knows how to own that goal defence, Viv, and it's all the work she does that doesn't necessarily get the stats.
Sterling has a crack behind Conan. You don't mind a goal attack not having maybe as much volume if they're leading in goal assists and centre pass received, but Dwan not really hitting the mark on the volume or in that element either.
Dwan sitting on 4 general play turnovers at the moment. And as you said, we can see behind play, Lucy Austin just putting a set of bibs on. And the siren, the power 5, and straight into the action is Steph Wood. That is the first Suncorp super shot of this round 13 game. The Lightning, they're out by 9. It's a HCF tactical timeout called by the Thunderbirds. Let's take a listen in to Coach Obbs.
We need you to just shorten it up. Just shorten it up. When we're bringing the ball through, double button the ball through. We don't want to be bringing players up high. We want you guys to bring it down. We want you two to be bringing it down for double playing. When we're bringing the ball through. We don't want to draw people up. All right? Come on, guys. Let's dig in. Let's dig in tight here. Let's find something, all right?
All right, guys. Let's go. This is our moment, yeah? We smile on our faces. Shut down middle.
Let's go. T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well, a fairly happy bunch there there for the Thunderbirds, but they wanted to dig deep. They're talking about shortening it up in the attack end, double plays for that defence to bring it out of transition. Sterling only sitting on 2 games. There's no better time than to her, obviously, to step up now. Emily, what were you hearing from the Lightning?
Yeah, they were very happy and relaxed camp in the Lightning. We can see a change has come on with Katie-Ann Dehaney at goalkeeper, but Linda Reynolds was talking about the tempo and for the attackers just to control that pace, as they have been doing really well throughout the game.
Horges into goal attack. We thought Lucy Austin might take the court. Cardwell for 2, comes up short. She's very annoyed at herself not being able to sink the shot, to get the rebound.
And the dismount on the floor, she wouldn't have been happy with that either.
Finish it off?
No, she didn't quite stick it.
Pretorius to Sherian.
The experience of the Lightning here, I feel, are really shining through. As in back play, we also see Lucy Austin come to the court in goal shooter. Haven't seen that combination of Horges and Austin a lot, but they have a lot of understanding, so see what they can do in these final 3.5 minutes.
As Wood takes one defender along the baseline, Conan opens up the space at the back. Look at this Harvey Norman replay. We see the miss and
the roll. Not happy.
I don't think she's going to be happy with us.
Call it a bit of fun. That was exactly what Coach Belinda Reynolds asked of Conan. Bring Sterling out of the circle and then drive fast and deep into towards the post. Uncontested.
The Lightning, the biggest lead they've had so far, 11 goals, and they've scored the last 5. Lucy Austin for her first. The crowd are loving what they are seeing from the local South Australian. The Lightning seem like they've just got so much more time.
It's the multiple options to every pass, though, and their timing's really spot on. It's that pulley system we talk about, that go, one's going wide, one's going deep, you're getting width, getting that separation, and the defenders' heads are consistently turning, not knowing where the ball's going to be passed next.
Look at the Harvey Norman replay. Dwan, hand in, and Dwan straight to Austin.
They have to go for the 2-point now.
Dehaney, she steals the rebound, so strong in the air. Pretorius, cross court to Black. There's 2 Lightning players there. Sherian, again, that short little pass that we keep seeing.
No one even in the circle right now, but they're happy to all play out. They know what it's like. It's probably even a training drill you do when you get caught up in those spaces. And how do you open up?
And Shamira Sterling. They put it in the air, and this time she got herself in the right position. She tracked it perfectly. The Thunderbirds, 5 in sets so far. And Katie-Ann Dehaney, the Jamaicans, out in force. Pretorius, long to Conan. Sherian is just doing such a huge amount of work. Often the unsung hero. And it's a contact call against Nankiville. 11 goals, the Lightning lead by. Wood, just for 1.
Centre pass again. Expect a 2-point here, really to maybe put the nail in the Thunderbirds' coffin and go, you know what, you've only got 2s to shoot in the final quarter to possibly get back into this contest.
The Lightning to double the Thunderbirds' score in this quarter. What a phenomenal performance from the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Well, in round 3, Thunderbirds took all 4 quarters. The only game for the entire year. You have to shoot it now.
Austin for 2. That's what the crowd came here to see. A Suncorp super shot to Kira Austin. 1 down the other end to Cara Conan. too late for the Adelaide Thunderbirds to get another score on the scoreboard. 12 goals the difference. Sunshine Coast leading the way. Now, for all of you golf lovers out there, beginning Monday, we count down to golf's next major with a special preview show, Aussies at the US Open, where Australia's Jess Ogilvy reminisces about his famous win in 2006.
It's a special tournament. I mean, the majors are elevated anyway. They're the original elevated events. They feel such a big deal. And the US Open, in some ways, it's the biggest tournament in the world. Just the structures they build, the amount of people who go, the noise that you get there. And it's the ultimate, generally it's the ultimate test, the way they set the course up. Certainly the year I won at Winged Foot. I mean, that's a difficult course every day of the week. And you get the USGA to put their little special touch on it and it becomes almost unplayable.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, where the Lightning lead the Adelaide Thunderbirds by 12 at three-quarter time, thanks to Origin. I've been listening into the Lightning camp, who are very relaxed, calm. Coach Reynolds asked them all just to take a breath. Their message for the last quarter is to beat their direct opponent, and then the game will take care of itself. Mads, what have you been hearing?
Well, the Lightning are all about calm and being relaxed, where the Thunderbirds are about upping that energy, getting a little bit around each other, celebrating the small wins and rewarding the effort. So they need a lift. Lightning looking to stay and maintain.
Well, there you have it. Both teams' huddles. Round 13. The Adelaide Thunderbirds, 9,000 people here at Adelaide Entertainment Centre have come to see the Adelaide Thunderbirds prepare for the finals. Sunshine Coast Lightning are not giving them an inch. Let's see what this last quarter will bring. Cardwell forces Pretorius out of position. It's the tall combo in attack for the Thunderbirds. They've opted for Cardwell and Austin.
I'm glad they've gone to this lineup out of court for the Thunderbirds. I think they need two shooters definitely going into the two-point zone that are in form, that have found their groove and flow. Down the defence, have gone back to their starting lineup that they know is true and tested and can win the back ball. That might be exactly the confident boost that the Thunderbirds need to drive this game home and potentially get the win.
Well, 11 goals separates these two sides. Ashley Irvin, as a defender, the front position is so precious. She's finding it and she's finding the ball. Look at the Harvey Norman replay.
It was a 50-50 call, but as you said, front position, two hands. She gets the call her way.
Wood gets another attempt. Takes their lead out to 12. Sherian finds Cassidy, working hard in that middle channel, the Lightning. For one, Steph Wood continues to add to the scoreboard.
Irvin flying or hunting again, having a look for it. It's a better feed by Horges.
A really low penalty count for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They're sitting on 32 total. And the Thunderbirds, they're at 48.
Well, you talk about that building that defensive pressure, and you've got to stay disciplined to be in the play to win back ball. So you see that, little grubber ball there. Hannah Petty nearly got a hand to it on the Harvey Norman replay. It snuck through, and the Lightning chip away at that scoreboard again.
Horges looks in. This time, better placement of the pass. Irvin with the hands over. Puts Austin up the shot.
I think down this end, the Thunderbirds really have to go up for two hands on every single pass. I love that the umpire's letting some of the contests go, but make sure you pull that ball in and tell her that it's yours.
Wood long to Conan. Thunderbirds though, Shamira Sterling. Hands in position with the pickup. 12 goals separate the two teams. 6 intercepts apiece. Wilson, back to wing defence. And Horger swoops around the outside of Black. A quick run from Cardwell to Austin. She's off balance. A lucky save from Georgie Horges.
You can feel a slight shift in the momentum currently coming the Thunderbirds' way. The crowd's getting up and about. They've got some hand on ball early.
Just over 11 minutes to play. 11, the difference on the scoreboard. Austin, the Thunderbirds bring it back to within 10. This time, I think the crowd are really going to play a big part. Pretorius to Black. Wilson has a look. A quick 1-2 between Sherian and Conan. Across they go. Garrett back into goal defence. All sorts of pressure on the Lightning.
Lightning not prepared to lift it up in the air at all on the circle edge. Rather the goaler-to-goaler pass. It's a good option. Rather than lifting it up and giving Sterling an opportunity to maybe attack it and get it.
Holding call against Matilda Garrett. Let's take this opportunity to go across to Em. What are you noticing with the crowd?
If the Thunderbirds can get close enough, they've got an 8th player that could potentially carry them across the line. We've heard the chance of defence coming up when Shamira comes through with an intercept or Lucy Austin nails a long shot. This crowd is deafening, so if they can start pegging this back, they might just carry them.
Look at our Nissan net points match leaders. So far, Horges has been the only Thunderbird. Now Shamira Sterling is joining her in the top 5, but Cassidy and Sherian still leading the way. Solid performances from the Sunshine Coast Lightning midcourt. Petty across to Cardwell. It's a 2-on-1 against Austin.
The sink back of the Lightning defence, pushing the goalers out to a little bit more range. But really good patience. That's better. Work the ball out, find a different road towards the post.
10 goals separating these two sides. Look at Lucy Austin's shooting pattern. She's 6 from 8, 1 Suncorp super shot. Wood struggling to find that position. It's a contact call though against Sterling.
And a little bit of a whack to the knee of Conan there. It really has been the dominance of the middle channel for the Lightning though. It's that coming up, that release up the centre. Forcing options wide, but keeping it low and short. Looking long are the Thunderbirds straight into Austin, and why wouldn't you?
Conan out, Sherian takes the drive in the opposite direction. Tries to pull away the Thunderbirds defenders. But now the balls are getting a bit more aerial.
You can just see the different pace that both teams are playing at, the tempo of a bit slower, composed, control movement from the Lightning. Obviously, the Thunderbirds, it's go time. They just have to see it, let it go, and go again.
Sterling, she averages 7.4 deflections, but Ash Irvin, brilliant performance from the goalkeeper from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. 4 intercepts to her name. She's got 5 gains, 1 deflection.
She came out, she saw it. Played around in the hands of a few different players, but the Lightning came up with it. As we also see Macy Nankiville injected into the game again at wing defence. Latanya Wilson to the bench, but you can see her standing in the box with the goal defence bib on. Ready to come on and terrorise Steph Wood one more final time, I think.
The crowd aren't liking what they're seeing. Steph Wood, I imagine she'd be a goaler that loves it when the crowd are like
She's
that.
a big occasion player. She's like, boo all you like, I'll just shoot a couple of twos in the next couple of minutes.
We're leading by 12. Wood again. Cassidy back to Pretorius.
The work rate from the Lightning, especially their mid-quarters. They've been at the top of the Nissan net point leader board for the whole game. They just are patient. They're prepared to go, work it back, reset, find a different road to the post. constantly swing it across.
Playing possession netball, playing patient netball.
And as a defender, you're trying everything to try and get it, and if it just continues to slip through and go in, you're like, gosh, there's not much more we've got to do.
It might not be that exciting to watch that patient play, but it's so frustrating to try and defend against. Ash Irvin leading the games, followed very closely by Sterling and Pretorius and Dehaney. Irvin, she was really impressive against Fowler last week. What an experience it was for her to come up against Fowler, really have an impact on the game, and we got rewarded with a start in tonight's game.
Georgie Hoare just fell over in play. She looks a little bit uncomfortable. Hopefully she's all right.
Just over 6 minutes in the final quarter. 13 goals. The Sunshine Coast Lightning lead by. The Thunderbirds, they've got a huge amount of work to do to try and get a dent into this lead from the Lightning. Look at the Lightning bench players. They're all standing up. Charlie Bell, Annie Miller, Katie Ann Dehaney, they are right into it.
And I've watched them the last couple of weeks, the Lightning, and they're always like that, and that's just a really good sign as Irvin gets a little tip to the ball again of the depth of your team and the importance of the bench generating that energy, especially when you're not at home. They're trying to be that 8th player for the players out on court.
Austin for one. The Lightning centre pass. As everyone's happy for Lucy Austin to chase up the ball.
Not a lot of urgency.
Pretorius helping out as much as she can in attack, always being an option, always being a reset.
And just then, in the space of 5 passes, Sherian, Pretorius, Wood, Pretorius, the experience of these players that know what these moments mean, they go straight to strategy and they execute.
You heard the Power 5 siren. Let's see how much tactics change. You'd think they'd have to start changing for the Thunderbirds now. They've got their 2 talls on in attack, Cardwell and Austin. Their 2 strongest Suncorp super shot shooters.
Cardwell trying to put Austin in the zone.
Porges can't get both of Cardwell's feet within the white arc. They do now for 2.
There you go. First one for the match. No better time to do it, Cardwell.
And the crowd, don't they love it? Pretorius across to Black. Again, we see
the patience to work it around that possession netball. Unless it's really available going forward, they're just going to continue to go back, work it again.
Lightning lead by 11. Sterling, hands in for a deflection. Up and over the top, they find Conan.
It's that mismatch, Wilson on Conan. They played it perfectly, the Lightning.
And it's the elusive timing of Conan that really does allow, doesn't it, for her to find that space, no matter how high the ball is put up or how low it is. Austin for 2.
Oh! She was out and very far away. She looks pretty calm and composed.
2 Suncorp super shots for the Thunderbirds in a matter of 1 minute as Sterling tries to get play underway quickly. 10 goals the difference. Listen to the crowd. Defense. Wood. Back to Sharon. Here they go on the reset. A slick operation for Sunshine Coast Lightning, but Shamira Sterling, she's saving her best for this final quarter.
Here we go, Cardwell for the 2! The coaching staff don't look like they're comfortable just yet. There's still a long way to go. That's exactly what the Thunderbirds need to do. Every time they get in a position to shoot that 2, they've got to go for it.
8 goals separate these two sides. The Thunderbirds, you feel like they want it so much in this final quarter. They've left their run late. And Austin for 2. Another Suncorp super shot.
Watch the defensive pressure from Irving.
And Cardwell has got a hot hand right now.
She has.
Brilliant. Suncorp super shot to Eleanor Cardwell. That's her 3rd.
They lead the quarter by 5. It's much better volume from the Thunderbirds.
See the clash of bodies on the contest on that Harvey Norman replay. Okay, Maddie, 7 goals separate these two sides.
Don't make me do it.
We have under 2 minutes to play. What happens from here?
I think the experience of the Lightning will shine through. I think they'll maybe, in another minute's time, start to freeze that ball around. It's dangerous, but they still need to keep attacking. I'm going to say the Lightning.
Wilson flies through. Deflection, but not the pickup. And Sterling is out of play, creating a 2-on-1 in the circle. Flat-footed from the Lightning as Penny flies through. She's doing everything she can.
Sliding around on the court.
And Wood turns, resets.
Wants to work it in. Shots, not the option.
Sterling got herself in the right position, knew exactly where they were going to put it. 6 goals, just over 1 minute in the final quarter. Nankiville to Horges, up over the top to Austin. Here we go, Lucy Austin. 3 from 3.
Now Tracy Neville's out of her seat.
Super shots, the Thunderbirds are coming. 4 goals the difference.
18-10 in this quarter. It makes you think, where have they been for the first 3?
I think they just love to play in these final minutes. Cardwell. We have 2-goal difference. The Lightning, 25 seconds.
They're going to play it. I said they'll freeze the ball. Here it goes.
Conan, back to Pretorius. Black, what are they going to do? Back to Pretorius again. They're back in their defensive third, the Lightning. 7 seconds. Conan to Wood. And they do exactly what you said, Maddie Brown. The clock, they played it very smartly. And what an incredible win to the Sunshine Coast Lightning, but to only win by 2 in the end after what a massive lead they've had all game.
Well, you look at that, the 4th quarter, 20 goals that they could put on, and we spoke about that super shot and how good it can be in that final quarter, but imagine if you had been able to sink those shots a little bit earlier. I even said that combination of Austin and Cardwell, it's so good. It would have been great to see it potentially a little bit earlier, but credit to the Lightning for holding on in those dying seconds. The crowd were against them, but they shone through.
They did, as the teams gathered together. Remember how important this game was for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. A loss here, the upset here, means that they will find it hard to finish on top of that ladder, pending all the other results though, because there's been a lot of upsets lately in the last couple of weeks.
Well, if the Swifts get a loss tomorrow and then it comes down to the last round when the Thunderbirds come up against the Swifts, it's a tough ask, but it can be done.
Let's get down to Em with the player of the match.
I'm with Mahalia Cassidy, player of the match. Incredible game to clinch that win by 2 goals. When last time you met, you lost by 24. What's it been like to see the improvement in your team throughout the season?
Yeah, it's been we've really developed through the season. We obviously haven't gotten the wins that we've wanted, but we kind of treated this like our first final, and next week's our final, and we're really happy to get the job done.
I love that mindset. Has that come from the players, or is that something that Belinda is taking through?
Oh, Super Coach B. She's tremendous, so she's really driven that mentality this week, and it's really great that we stuck to it for most of the game. The last 5 minutes was a bit shaky, but yeah, it was great.
And you personally had such a consistent performance. Your work rate out there is incredible. What was your focus coming into the game?
I just want to play my role, want to hit circle edge, be nice and calm on the feed, and be dogged in defence.
Well, congrats on a great win. Enjoy it with your team.
Cheers, thank you.
What a simple game plan from the player of the match, Mahalia Cassidy. We'll have our post-show coming back. We'll recap all of tonight's action, and we'll be joined by a very happy coach in the Sunshine Coast Lightning, Belinda Reynolds. Stay with us, we'll be back soon. Well, the Adelaide Thunderbirds nearly snuck it in right at the end, but it was the Sunshine Coast Lightning's win. 2-goal victory to the away team, and what a performance it was for them, especially for the first 3 quarters of that game. As the Hannah Petty, their captain for the Thunderbirds, slips over and smiles on the face of the Thunderbirds, but sure, there would be smiles on the face of the Lightning. Let's take a look at the live ladder as it sits right now. The Adelaide Thunderbirds sitting in that second position, and the Lightning just out of that 4, if only they had a couple of more games to play this season. Welcome to our post-game show. I'm Bianca Chatfield, Maddie Brown's joining me, and the coach of the Sunshine Coast Lightning, so I've got to get that out, Belinda Reynolds. I think I'm just exhausted by that. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm exhausted also, especially the end of that match. It was a heart stopper.
Well, we heard Mahalia Cassidy, and even at the start of the game I spoke to you and you said that was our kind of finals. How did you think the players took on the pressure?
Yeah, I think they absolutely took on the pressure, and we were really keen to win this one to prove to ourselves that we could beat a top 4 side, and I thought their intent was really good today.
You've had so many close games this season, and you've really been on the probably wrong side of it, and it hasn't always been to your detriment, really. Like, you've tried your hardest to win those games. When you look at not making the top 4 and knowing that early on, how have you approached these last few games and being able to keep everyone in it?
It really was to prove to ourselves that we could win those tight ones, and I was so glad we got across the line today. But I thought it was a great opportunity for us to blood our youth late in the season as well, and they've really taken it to the other teams.
You talk about that youth, Ava Black and even Ash Irving, like they've really started to step up. They're the future of the Lightning. How impressed have you been of their performances?
Yeah, really impressed. I think they've come up against some really good opposition. Like they're on El Caldwell, they've been against Diamonds midcourt, and I think they've just taken their opportunities with both hands.
What kind of player is Ash Irving? We're just watching her highlights here. She had 4 intercepts tonight, 3 deflections. Just really, like, even I walk past her and it's just her physical presence. She's 192 centimetres tall, but she's got such long arms and beautiful reach over the shot.
Yeah, she really is going to be a star of the future. She, like you said, she's a great size, and her footwork's coming on each and every week. And yeah, I think that she's going to be a great lineup for the roster Lightning in the future.
And your defence was good, but your attack really shone tonight. And you know that experience of Sherrian, Wood, and Conan. So strong, and in the end, you know, they obviously started to freeze the ball. They know exactly what to do. Do you train that, or that's just their innate instinct in the game?
We didn't train it exactly like that. I think we played a little too safe too early, so it certainly was to attack the contest, but we knew that we needed to work our shapes and our triangles and get some more flat balls into Cara, and I thought they did that really well today.
What's your take, or what's been the plan of attack with using the super shot?
Yeah, we've got more of a target of an amount we want scored in that period. So I think we were just ticking the scoreboard over today really well in that period.
And you spoke about that attacking play, and we just saw it there, those triangles, that short ball. We know how good Shamira Sterling can be in the air, but you've really taken that away. One more game to go, and it's at home. What are you hoping to see from this team for one last hit out for that Battle of the Bruce?
I think it's the famous thing, consistency. So we've proved today we can do it, so we need to back it up next week. And Firebirds have been in some great form, and we're really looking forward to the derby at home.
Oh, an Irvin matchup against Wallam, potentially. That's certainly going to be one to watch. Thank you so much for joining us, Belinda. All the best on the trip back home. We're now going to cross to Em Beaton, who has Eleanor Cardwell.
incredible fight back for your team. Where was that in the first 3 quarters of the game?
I think that's the first thing we asked ourselves in that last huddle. And we were searching for it. I think we started off really well. Like the way we were moving in attack was a lot better than what it has been in the past, and it felt slick. It was just the basics. Like my shooting wasn't good enough underneath the post. And that's never an excuse. Like I need to be better. But I'm really proud of the comeback that we all had in that last quarter. For Lucy to come on and sink super shots in that pressured situation is amazing for a youngster. And yeah, I just bitterly disappointed. Just means next week we've got to do that from the start and just bring it to the Swifts.
You seem like such a united team this year. There seems to be so much support, even the way you're talking about Lucy coming on and things like that. How do you rally the troops when you've had 2 losses on the trot now? How do you bring it back to that form that we saw early in the season?
I think it's just going back to processes. We've really improved since the start of the season, and I know the results might not say that, but the way we're actually playing is miles better. It's just taking care of the ball and doing the real basics properly and doing them well. And if we do that, we can take the wins, and I think we've seen that earlier in the season, like when we played Fever. Having little mistakes, we win the game. So we really need to be clinical going into finals, and that's something we're going to be working on, and we're just going to have some open conversations with each other.
And obviously a really big game next week against the Swifts. You two are sitting at the top of the table. What can we expect from that battle?
I mean, even the half an hour that we played earlier in the season against Swifts, we match up really well, and it's going to be a good battle. And yeah, it's a great game to finish this part of the season going into finals. It's going to be a good game.
We'll have a great prep week. Good luck next week.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What a true leader Eleanor Cardwell is. Like, it's really actually hard to hear how disappointed she is and how much pressure she put on herself when she was missing those shots. But she's right, isn't she? We've only seen half a game between the Swifts and the Thunderbirds this season. I actually can't believe it.
I know. Well, I mean, tonight, the Thunderbirds really played a quarter. So imagine what they can do when they put 4 together. So as you said, you see the disappointment on those players' faces. So know how important it is at this time of year to go into those games with confidence. Swifts are going to be a hard ask for them. But she said it's the basics, and it's done consistently and under pressure in those clutch moments. And you can't take it away from the Lightning because they put them in those awkward positions, made them feel uncomfortable, and they just didn't have the answers, the Thunderbirds. But I love the fact that Cardwell said we're talking about honest conversations. We're going to go and address it. We know that we've got the tools and the kit to do it. We're just got to actually execute it properly.
Because we all know anything can happen come finals. And don't forget, we've got heaps of Suncorp Super Netball action coming up this weekend, including this game tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The West Coast Fever up against Giants Netball. Live and exclusive right here on Fox Netball, and we'll be back with a bit more of our post-game show. Stay with us. The Diamond squad is announced this week. I'm going to come to you both, Maddie and Em. Maddie first. Do you think we're going to see any surprises when the team is named and there are 3 training partners?
Well, I think it's going to be the question's going to come in who's going to be in the 12 and who's going to be in the 3. Definitely in the shooting position and in the mid-court. I mean, we've had talk about Garvin or Wallum, who's going to maybe take that 4th spot in the shooter. Whoever doesn't make it, I think they'll be the replacement. And in the mid-court, that's where I'm interested to see, because I fear that maybe a Maloney or a Price might miss out when a Brazel gets in. But really, 2 players are in form. Do you swing him to the wing defence? So I don't know. It's a hard one, but yeah, I expect some upsets maybe there.
Do you have any answers or solutions for me, Em?
I don't. I think I've got more questions than I do answers. Someone that we don't speak about a lot is Maddie Proud. She hasn't played many games for the Diamonds, but I've played with her as a teammate, and what she brings to a team, not just on court but off, I think she'd be an amazing addition, but she always seems to be the one that misses out.
Well, don't forget, July 28th, the World Cup starts. All the action will be live and exclusive on Fox Sports, and also all the Diamonds games and the finals will be free on KO Freebies as well. Let's take a look at the Suncorp Super Netball Round 13 draw. That's 1 game done. The Lightning won that by 2. We've got the West Coast Fever and the Giants, the Queensland Firebirds and the Swifts, and then on Monday, the King's birthday, the Melbourne Vixens hosting the last derby against the Collingwood Magpies. It's going to be very exciting to see plenty of upsets potentially still to come this round. Thank you so much, Maddie. Thank you, Emily. Thank you to everyone at Fox Netball, and especially to the 2 teams for giving us all the access tonight. We've absolutely loved being here. It's goodbye from all of us here at Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Wilson goes long.